when you're stuck on social media, you're looking at, your ex-girlfriend's page, or you're looking at your current girlfriend's page, or who she's following, or any of this bullshit. Like, you are literally destroying and killing yourself, because you're acting from a place of jealousy, and you're acting from this place of insecurity. And if that person truly loves you and cares about you, or you guys have that connection, then you'll know it either way. But that's honestly a massive turnoff to the person. And I'm speaking for myself from seeing girls do it as well. Is like that you want to see that significant other or whoever you're talking to have that confidence to know who you are and what they are. And if it's not good and you can't trust them and you think they're doing shitty shit, they probably are. And you should call yourself out for being associated with that person if you truly know that it's not suiting your best interest, and you should go your separate ways. But it's really hard, and it's something that needs to be talked about, because social media is an addiction. All of a sudden, your neural pathways are bringing you to a certain person's page that you have feelings for, and then that is rewiring, and then you're likely to do that more and more, regardless if it's with that person or not, somebody else. So I was going to talk about just girls in general and jealousy, and I learned recently some massive statistic, like over 75% of male prisoners, there was a woman involved with their crime. I don't know if it's exactly 75%, so I'm just throwing out a number, but the majority of people that are in prison that are male, it was over a female. We are triggered by emotions that feminine or masculine, the opposite energy, attract. And like, even recently, like there was that video. There's been multiple like famous people, of course, because they're in the spotlight, but they've been getting accused of like hitting their wives or beating their wives. Or there's like tons of pro football players, MMA fighters. Dana White, obviously, he like punched his wife at a club or something. Someone filmed it, but it's insane. Like and we're all human, like no one's perfect. But I'm obviously saying to never, ever, ever, ever hit a girl. But the mass amount of people that are in prison are doing them for female-related crimes. That's insane. Whether it's stealing money for a girl, whether like that was the true intentions behind it, whether you saw a guy with your girl or whatever. The reality of that situation is like, if you find out that someone is not disrespecting you, if you guys are on the same page and you have an open relationship or whatever, like that's different. But if you see your girlfriend out at a movie or a restaurant with another dude and it's not very clear what the circumstances are, you don't want to be with that person anyway, because they're lying to you. Like, unless that was the game plan all along, you got to set yourself straight, stand up for yourself, and understand that you have to draw your own line of respect somewhere. You can't let, and this is for girls too, you can't let other girls or guys walk all over you and just let them run your life. This is your life we're talking about. You need to have standards for yourself that suit you, and you can protect yourself from that. But what I'm talking about, all of this is like, if a girl that is causing you, emotional turmoil and hurting you, and then you have the ability to either walk away, or you get all emotional and stupid and you act out and you do something dumb and hit her or whatever, and then you end up in prison. It's like, well, how are you feeling about that now? That girl, for the most part, I would say, in certain circumstances, doesn't care about you anyway, and now you're in prison for it. I actually went to prison for train hopping that time, and in there was a guy that was 5 years in prison. That's where we were, and he was like, yep, and I watched him walk out. I watched him get out. But before that, I was sitting there, and he had his one phone call for the day. And before this phone call, he's telling me, oh yeah, this like stupid girlfriend of mine like ended up getting physical abuse, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't even true. And the judge sided with her, and I did 5 years straight for that. And then I'm watching him get his one phone call, and he's on the phone with the same girl, screaming at her, cussing, screaming, being like, you dumb bitch, blah, 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 blah. And for me to see that firsthand and understand that was because I remember him talking about it after he got off the phone, like that was the same girl that had him in there in the first place, and he hadn't learned his lesson. He was probably going to go out there and do the same thing all over again. But what I'm saying could better suit this guy is to obviously have the awareness to just leave it. After a certain while, you have to realize that you got to put yourself first, and you have to protect yourself and respect yourself, and it takes discipline to do that. So I'm saying, be strong, make the right decisions. If something's bothering you, confront it, and live your life.